Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. So as promised in my previous video, I did show you the recipe for the sponge cake of this chocolate tres leches cake, and today I want to review the video where I made the topping, which is a whipped frosting, and I want to go over a few of my mistakes and how I suggest that you fix them. I didn't just want to post the recipe because I know that I did make a few mistakes, so let's get started on correcting this frosting. To top my cake, I did decide to go the traditional way, which was making a whipped frosting. So here I have the ingredients, and you'll also see two stabilizers. I have, for my basic ingredients, powdered sugar, heavy whipping cream, cocoa powder, and my two stabilizers being my cream cheese, my gelatin, and some water. I want to add a note that you can use either cream cheese to stabilize your whipped frosting or gelatin. You don't have to use both. In this case, I used both because I needed my whipped frosting to last longer than 2 to 3 days in the refrigerator. The first thing that I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and place my gelatin in some water because we want to give it and allow it some time to bloom. So I'm just going to go ahead and stir this with a skewer to make sure that all of my gelatin gets hydrated, and I'm going to place this aside. One thing that I did forget to mention is that before blooming my gelatin, I did go ahead and place my mixing bowl and my whisk into the freezer so that they would potentially be ready for my whipped cream, and this is where all my troubles started. As I mentioned in the beginning, one of the stabilizers that I am using besides gelatin is cream cheese. So here I did go ahead and soften my cream cheese, but as I mentioned a few seconds ago, I did go ahead and place my mixing bowl and my whisk into the freezer because, as we know, it's easier to whip up heavy whipping cream when your bowls and your utensils are very, very cold. Now, I know this sounds kind of not intelligent, but I did soften my cheese and then proceeded to place it into a frozen bowl. That was mistake number one. If you're doing this at home, make sure that you whip up your cream cheese at a room temperature bowl with a room temperature whisk. Do not place any of these items into the freezer, and you will see that if you do, like I did here, you'll see it again as the video goes by, but it's going to start lumping again once I add in my cream. So essentially what we want to do at home, if you're trying this, what I suggest is having two different bowls. So let's say that you are whipping up your cream cheese and softening it up in a room temperature bowl. And then I also need you to have a separate bowl with ice so that when we add in our cream, we are able to create the effect of a colder environment, except we're going to do it gradually. I hope that makes sense. And as you can see here, I'm already having trouble whipping up this cream cheese, and I'm just kind of ignoring it because I'm thinking it's gonna work, but it's really not. So at home, like I said, for the third time, use a room temperature bowl to cream your cream cheese. This is the part where you would start to add in your heavy whipping cream gradually so that it doesn't shock your cream cheese. So at home, since you are doing it with a room temperature bowl and a room temperature whisk, hand attachment, stand mixer, hand mixer, whatever it is you're using, add in your heavy whipping cream gradually, even though your cheese is at room temperature, because you don't want to cause a shock. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to continue whipping, and in case your cheese gets stuck in your whisk, just make sure to take it out with a little spatula from time to time to prevent any lumps and bumps. At home, once you have about half of your heavy whipping cream into the mixing bowl and mixing with your cream cheese, is when you want to place your room temperature bowl over your bowl that has ice so that you can start creating that cold environment for your heavy whipping cream, and so that it is able to whip up a lot faster and a lot firmer. You'll also want to go ahead and add in the rest of your whipping cream once you've started your ice bath, and then also make sure to add in your powdered sugar. This next step is completely optional, but you can use it as a secondary stabilizer. And basically what I did is I took my gelatin that was already bloomed, and as you saw, it becomes a little bit hard. I placed it into the microwave for 15 seconds, and here I'm just adding in about 1 teaspoon of room temperature heavy whipping cream, just to bring down the temperature of my gelatin so that when it hits the cold whipping cream in the bowl, it doesn't start to get stringy and it doesn't get hard like gelatin does. Y'all, I want to thank you for even listening to this video, because I know it's probably a mess. It's probably all over the place and it probably doesn't even make sense, but I still want to share this recipe with you because a few of you have asked about stabilizing whipping cream. I know this is by far not the best video to show it, but I do promise that I will refilm this video the correct way to show you several different ways of how to do this at home successfully and not fail at it like me. This is the point where I was freaking out because I started to see the bumps and I thought that if I whipped faster they would just disappear. But anyway, I'm just gonna let you keep watching, and also don't forget to check my website because that's where I'll have the written instructions on how to do this successfully at home. And here I'm just starting to add in my gelatin very slowly while still keeping my mixer on, as to incorporate the gelatin rapidly into the mixture that is already there. When adding gelatin as a stabilizer to a cold item, you want to make sure to continue to whisk so that it doesn't harden in just one place. Another thing and another part where I messed up was with the chocolate. Anytime you're adding chocolate into frosting or into a batter, it's best if you use a sieve so that you take out any of the lumps. I didn't do that here. I don't know if it counts, but this was my second week before I moved or something. So I was busy packing. This was like super last minute. It's not an excuse, you guys, but I was trying to work fast. My head was not in the right space, but I really still wanted to share this with you. So I hope it makes sense. I hope you like it, and I don't know. I just hope that you watch it and that it kind of makes sense in some way. But anyway, just continue whipping all of your ingredients in, and as soon as it reaches this state where it kind of holds onto the whisk, that's when your mixture is ready and your frosting is essentially ready, except it shouldn't be lumpy and it shouldn't look a lot like this. It should be a lot smoother, but from the gist of this video, I think you kind of get the picture that this was totally gone wrong, but somehow I still managed to put it on top of my cake, cover it up with some strawberries, and it looked amazing, and it tasted amazing too because I got some feedback. Also, don't forget that I always place all the measurements for any of the materials that I use, any of the ingredients, down in the description box below, so you can check that there. Also, make sure that you're tasting your frosting in between, because I did end up using 1 cup of powdered sugar, but you can definitely use more or less depending on how sweet you want your frosting to be. And here, what I'm doing is I'm just trying to pretend that the lumps are not there, and I'm just trying to like smooth them out with my hand. Honestly, I don't know what I'm doing, but I was trying to save it. So yeah, that's my lumpy frosting. Thank you so much for watching this weird video, and don't forget to hit the like button so that other people can find a way to fix their messed up whipped frosting. I don't know if that made sense, but regardless, if you like this video, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss any of my future videos, and don't forget to share this video with a friend. Thank you so much for being here, for listening to this, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.